Welcome to the Caregiving Podcast. I'm Inga.
And I'm Julie.
And long story short, we have Caregiving. We are two momtrepreneurs who have built an in-home care business from the ground up, guided every step of the way by God's care and fueled by agape love. Almost 14 years later, we felt called to create this podcast as a resource for families with caregiving needs. Whether you care for a family member or are looking for advice on professional caregiving, we want this to be a platform to support you.
Each week, we will come to you with encouraging stories of families who have found the right balance for their loved ones, tips for how to care for them and you, and much more. We hope you continue to join us each week as we share in this exciting new journey together.
Hello, sunshines, and hello, Julie.
And hello, Inga.
What? Oh my gosh. Welcome to our 100th episode.
100 of these.
We have such a treat for you guys today. Our biggest fans, our biggest supporters, they give us 5 stars.
Yes.
Because we tell them that there's no option to do anything but.
Yes.
Today, we are going to introduce you to our mothers.
Our mothers, it's all their fault. Everything we do, it's all their fault.
I was going to say they're responsible for all of this goodness, but, however it goes. The good and the bad, I suppose.
And I'm actually in a really personal quandary because I feel like I should be sitting up straighter and behaving. But then I remember that Mother has watched 99 of these podcasts and she already knows the truth.
I was afraid you were going to ask me my favorite one and I couldn't.
That's a good idea.
Well, I will be asking later if you've learned anything from any of the podcasts. So just keep that in the back of your mind.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
We always start with a verse.
A verse.
Julie always finds really good ones.
I do.
And then I get to read them. And as we were discussing it yesterday, she said, I dare you to read this and not cry. So I'm going to do it already. All right. So here we go. This is Proverbs chapter 31, verses 25 through 29. It says, she is clothed with strength and dignity. She can laugh at the days to come. She speaks with wisdom, and faithful instruction is on her tongue. She watches over the affairs of her household and does not eat the bread of idleness. Her children arise and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praises her. Many women do noble things, but you surpass them all. And that is our mothers.
Oh, she did it. I was
almost.
Very good.
Yeah. I was like, okay, Inga, I got one for you.
Oh.
Yes, that's about our mamas.
Yes.
Pretty much nails it.
It really does.
Yeah.
Because I would contend that we have 2 of the best moms in the world.
Absolutely.
So we've set the bar kind of high then.
Yes. Yes, you have. Yeah. Very, very high. And we appreciate that greatly.
Oh, Lordy. Yes.
I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
This is Jean. This is Grandma Jean. This is my mom, Jean Irvin. Welcome to our show.
Yes.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
I told her that there is not almost anything she could do to screw it up because Alyssa is so good that she fixes it. So, how are you?
I am pretty good.
Happy to be here?
Yes, I'm happy. A little nervous, but I still like that part about, that it can be edited out if we need. So
yes, trust me. A lot of things have happened here that the public has not seen at this point. Okay, so, and Julie, introduce us to your mom.
This is Cheryl Jackson, my mother. And she came all the way from Ronan, so quite the drive to get here. So we appreciate you very much. And every Monday morning after our new edition is dropped, I just get it sent right over to Cheryl and she gives me her opinion.
Yes.
So,
Same with mom. Same with my mom.
Yeah.
She's been great about it. She will always call me and tell me the things that she picks up or learns or it reiterates something that she's working on or something she's been a part of. So it's been a good thing, I think.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel like it's been useful?
Oh, yes, definitely. I've learned lots of good things.
Good.
Yeah.
And I have learned, too, that on feedback on the shows that I got to stick with the subject, the topic that that you guys were talking about and not go into hairstyles and fashion and clothing or makeup or anything like that. Just stay on topic.
Yeah. No, I told you every time my hair has this personality of its own, and every day we're going to do a podcast, it decides it's got to do something ridiculous.
Not the feedback you're after.
No.
Our brains, these beautiful brains. all of this information.
Yes, but have learned a lot.
Yeah,
Yes, they're very good.
good.
All of them. You pick up subjects that we just not everybody talks about, and they need to be talked about. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like-
no, that's
and
true.
bring in really good guests.
Yeah, we've got some exciting ones coming up as well. And now I don't think we'll ever be able to top these
No.
guests. We've been threatening them that they get to come, and finally we actually got them both here at the same time.
That's wonderful.
So, Mother, what about you? What's your your just quick input on your daughter being so mouthy and have so many words?
I've just thought that you and Inga are like a couple of sportscasters, and you just bounce things back and forth, and it's wonderful. I know you don't get the big bucks that they do, but
But what you're saying is we're worth it.
I think
Oh
so.
yeah.
That's what I
I
thought.
must say, I got a little apprehensive when I knew I was actually going to be on this, because I thought, oh no, my hair. What do I do with my hair?
Is it
And
because
then I
you-
thought, Julie, she's always asking for suggestions. I thought maybe you could do a whole podcast on hair.
Yes, and
Yes.
it's a good idea because elderly women, their hair is a big thing. They've got their person they've gone to forever. They have to have their perm or whatever. You
Yeah.
know? So it is going to be a topic for sure. And then the other stinking topic that was so difficult for me to choke out the whole episode was on feet. And,
Oh, yeah.
and that was your fault.
Well,
That one was kind of fun.
yes.
I mean, so many times in life, I just pop off with things for like just the shock value or what's the reaction going to be. So Julie squirmed through that entire foot episode. It was great.
Oh, one thing that Mother did say, and it really, really actually kind of bothered me and made me very nervous, was she's like, when are you guys going to run out of topics? And I'm like, oh, holy hell.
Uh-oh.
I've got to get creative. We can't let that happen.
I know, because you start bouncing them back and forth, or you're like, okay, what about this? Oh, no, we did that one. What about this? Oh, no. But thankfully, Alyssa has us on, I don't even remember which one I went to, maybe Apple or Google, whatever podcasts, and they're all just listed nicely. So I was like, oh, quick, I can go and reference what we've talked about and what we haven't talked about. So
I do it the hard
yeah.
way. Shocking.
I know.
Okay, so what we need to do is start out with you ladies kind of telling us your caregiving story. I mean, I know mothers, starting way back when I was a kid, we started with the neighbor lady down the road, but it'll be fun to hear yours, because I don't know everything that you've done, but you're both in the same situation right at this time, besides neighbors and your spouses and your loved ones, and now you're taking care of your mothers. This is going to be really actually incredible for people to see caregiving at its finest, truly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have never thought about it too much until you guys' podcasts and whatever about the title of caregiver. I have never considered myself a caregiver. You just do it.
Right.
I don't know. By default,
Yes.
Yeah.
a lot of times. And I honestly will say that I have friends that have taken care of their husbands for a long, long time. I didn't experience that. I never really felt like it got to the point where I felt like I was sole, caregiver for my husband. You just go with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think your life becomes just a whole series of appointments is what we found out.
Yeah.
And you just do it, whether it's your husband or your mother or whatever.
Yeah.
And my mom, I don't really feel like I'm the total caregiver either, because I am fortunate enough to share it with my sister, and that's worked really well for us.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I would have to say, when the kids were young, and we lived way back in the woods, and so we weren't real close to folks. So I really didn't do much caregiving other than my immediate family, But as we got older, then I would say probably it's with my father. He was ill with liver disease, and my mother at age 75, and he was 79. She had to become his caregiver, and we were living in Big Fork when the kids were growing up. Then we moved to Columbia Falls when Inga was freshman in high school. But anyway, so we were in a house that actually had belonged to my parents. And so I think secretly in their mind, they're going, perfect. we're putting her right here because
Yeah.
I was right close to them,
Yeah.
then I would be there to help take care of them. And so that's kind of where it started with helping my mom with my dad. And I was still working then. But then after I retired, and then my mom's health started to fail. My dad passed away when he was like 81. But anyway, so then I was already in place and I was retired. And it just starts with small things, you know, but it's like Cheryl said, you're there, you just do it. She's my mom, and you just fall into it. And I really didn't kind of think about being a caregiver. It's your parents, you're there, whatever, to help with. We decided she would call me her personal assistant because she was introducing me to people as her caregiver, and I said, why don't we go say I've been promoted to personal assistant. But so that's been, oh my gosh, 8 years now anyway, and she's 93 now, and so things of her health has progressed. She couldn't stay in her house if I wasn't in my little house next to her, and then my son lives behind us with the grandkids, so she's surrounded by family. So I think that's why she's doing as well as she does, because she doesn't have to worry. There's always people right there.
Yeah.
And so anyway, then she has there's several widows in the neighborhood too. So I get what you call subcontracted out, courtesy of mother.
That would
courtesy
be if
of
you
mother.
got paid.
Yeah. Oh, okay, whatever. Courtesy of mother. She'll say, "Oh, you just call now. Jean can do that." Which is fine. I don't mind, but that's okay. So there's 3 widows there in the neighborhood, and that I get called to help with, and then one of my coworkers that I worked with at the school. Oh my gosh, we worked together like 8 years in the Title I program in Columbia Falls, and we had a little classroom together. And she helped kids. It was more of a tutoring program. She helped the kids with English and reading and writing papers and things like that. And then I helped with math. But then she worked in the park in the summer, and I ended up getting a summer job in the park. So we've known each other for a lot of years. And then I retired. I actually ended up going full time in the park and retired from there. And then Norma retired like a year after that from the park. But her health. And we used to ski and ride bikes and hike and all those things, kayak, everything together. But her health started to deteriorate. And so she's now at the Beehive.
Oh.
And so she's been there about, I think we're going on 4 years. But so I go get Norma, and it's dementia. She wouldn't care if I was telling it because she couldn't remember anyway, But anyway, we just live in the day, and the things I learned from you folks, from your podcasts and some of your, I don't know if you call them conferences or seminars or whatever, guests you've come in, how to help deal with people with dementia. So that helped me immensely. And we just live in the day, and so I can come and pick her up, and I've been trained by Mom now how to help people that need help physically, because Mom's got to have her walker and things like that to do that. But then mentally and emotionally, how to deal with Norman. We just have a blast.
Because you enter her world.
Yeah, you just go into her world, and we might talk about it 3 or 4 times, the same thing, that day or whatever, the next day. But so I can take her out and we can do things. So I try to make a point to do that. So Inga pointed out that's part of caregiving too.
It absolutely is.
And so we just get ourselves, we're just a couple of wild and crazy old gals. Anyway, so yeah, kind of there. And then I help a little bit with my daughter-in-law's mother, who can't drive anymore either. Lots of appointments. Like Cheryl said, you're going from appointments to appointments to appointments, it seems like. But so they can call, and I guess at first, like you say, you don't even think about it's caregiving. You're just helping folks out, the friends and neighbors and their family. And so, but anyway, so that's kind of where we're at with Mom. And she's done real well. We've been through COVID, a breakthrough COVID, but she was able to stay home. And we did the oxygen and things, so that was good. And she had a little stroke, but she's fully recovered from that. And like I said, I think she's surrounded with family and people that are right there to know that she's got help right now.
Yeah. So Mom, you haven't had to deal with any memory issues.
No.
But everything you've dealt with has been just a decline in the ability for the body to do what is needed. Even when Dad was there, it got harder and harder for his feet to even move. You were even very, very incredibly strict on Dad's diet. So you became a nutritionist, really. And with that, I know that every time I visited, you were like, oh, crud, what is she going to bring for treats? You know, and those were things
They're like
that
fire dogs or something like that. What are they?
prairie dogs.
Prairie dogs.
Yeah, because Dad liked hot, and any kind of a wiener is just nothing that's 150% sodium, and he couldn't have that.
So of course Julie shows up with them.
Of course, and sauerkraut, and all of that, and little did I put it together, even after years of doing this stuff, that even in my own family, I might be inadvertently causing stress to my dear mother,
Right.
because I was gonna jack up Dad's sodium levels, and
If I had another life, or if I had to do it all over again, I would try to go to school and become a dietitian, because
really?
you use that with your family, or you could have a job with that. Yes, I learned. It's a continual process with learning. And my mother's 95 now and craves ice cream, and my attitude is, if that's what she wants, I'm going to keep it in front of her.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I think there does reach a point, that like quality is
quality of
so
life.
meaningful,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
can restrict everything, but
Yeah.
why live longer and be miserable, I guess.
Yeah, that's
So-
my mom's doctor. That's what they told her. You're 93 and you're doing pretty good for there. You can eat whatever you want.
Oh,
Well, my mom's a bit vain. This has to come out. She's high maintenance.
Oh,
And so, yes. And so, even though she likes ice cream, she'll eat it and then she'll fuss about gaining weight. So, I mean,
95
really,
years old. So that's, there's so many of the traits that I have that are so Patsy, but that isn't it. That is not the one. Like, oh darn it, that added another pound.
yeah.
So Mother does have her hands full with somebody that is high maintenance, like she said, where truly the one thing that I just, sorry, Cheryl, but where Mother
You
lives.
promised.
I did. But where Grandma sits in Mother's beautiful living room is this big, huge window. And outside of that is the yard. And then off in the landscape are the Mission Mountains. It's the most beautiful view. I mean, Dad could just sit there for hours and just be okay just looking at that. And anyway, Grandma's great with it until she starts to nitpick and will say, Cheryl, those windows need washed.
oh, yeah.
And so
you turn
And
your
I
chair
say,
the other direction.
Mother, we're in the country. Not the same as in town.
yeah, so
Yes.
it becomes it does get exhausting.
Yeah.
After a while of just not, just having somebody that, just bless her heart, she's not necessarily thrilled with living in the country, because she was always loved to have her women friends come and visit, and they don't as much because of the direction. But Mom keeps her busy, and Rayanne keeps Grandma really busy in Spokane. But still, it does get old when Grandma tends to find a topic. She kind of starts to obsess on it, and really, her shoes. Mother rolls her eyes. What other topics does she think about a lot? Another thing is, if you don't poop every day, it becomes a problem.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. That is the thing with people that age.
Yeah.
I've had to have my mom stop.
Yeah.
It's too much information. It's just,
I don't need to know.
Mom, but she's already started to tell you, and it's like she can't stop until she finishes telling you the whole story.
Yeah.
So we've laughed about that.
Yeah.
I actually found a birthday card for somebody that was I know. I sent it to my sister, who's a nurse.
Okay.
Because we talked about this with the issues about the daily customers anyway, and it said something, and it was have you pooped yet today? It was in the card. And it's a thing.
It's a
with
thing.
at that age.
Yeah.
There's a card for everything. Isn't
Yes,
there?
true.
So Patsy, how often does she rotate between you and your sisters? Or is it just one sister? Or-
Yeah, yes. Two of us take
That
turns.
take turns with her. Okay, yes.
We haven't got on a specific schedule yet. We are going to try to go every 3 months.
Okay.
We've had some circumstances that changed that. And so this time my sister's had mom for about 5 months, and I had her for 5 months before.
Okay.
Because my sister had some health issues.
Okay.
So we just work around whatever, and it's fine. There's no cut and dried.
Sure.
But what we're going to try, because I'm out in the country, and mom did fall at my house and break her hip. And the ambulance, I have a 1/4 mile lane. I'm 11 miles out. They got there fine, worked out okay. But there's times I've been drifted in.
Yes.
And so I think we've come up with a plan now. And I have a granddaughter that's playing basketball, and I want to be able to attend her games.
Sure.
And so at this point, my mom's going to stay with me till after Thanksgiving, and for the first time ever, she's going to have Christmas in Spokane. It's always been here, and everybody's come to her
Sure.
here. I let her, when she moved in with me, have her theme on the Christmas tree, all of her stuff, and so I will be back to my horsies this year. This year. So,
Yeah.
and my sister, there's 4 of us. This is amazing to me. Only, is it just myself that does any decorating for Christmas? I don't know if Mother overdid it or what, but the one in Spokane has no tree. The one up here has no tree. And my other sister. So I don't know what happened, but mom still has all of her decorations, and she can take them to Spokane and force my sister to decorate.
Perfect.
Yeah.
She will. She will get her way.
Yes.
So anyway, so then I don't have the luxury of air condition. I mean, I have a little portable one, but so then what's going to happen is then I'll get mom after February, and I'll get her right up to the point of summer. My sister has a beautiful air conditioner. Mom, she can have mom during the heat of the summer. My sister is very set up she has a walk-in tub. She has a beautiful bed that goes up and down. What else? I do have a lift chair, but actually, and then her son lives right next door. My sister's son, they're in a duplex. And I mean, talk about,
That's
if anything
wonderful.
would happen.
Yeah.
So, there isn't the distance in case something would happen. She's just right there. So it all works out.
Yeah.
If my sister, I don't know what would happen. I was just saying, please, pacemaker, be good.
Yeah.
For her, she just had a new one put in, and then she had the Watchman done also. So she's okay. She's checked out for all of that. But I was sweating.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I could be the only one.
Year
Right.
round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing how well you guys work together and how much thought you put into the schedule of where Patsy's going to be when.
Well, things
because-
change.
Yep.
Things change.
Well, even something that you don't have to deal with because you're going to Mother and you live next door to her is mom literally gutted her bedroom so that grandma's furniture, grandma's bed for her back and all of that. She just gave grandma her room and, moved everything up there.
Sure.
And the closet space and everything.
I like my little room now. I'd call it the horsey room.
Yeah.
But I had to put a halt when Mother filled 4 closets
Yeah.
with her stuff.
4,000.
yeah,
That was the line in
That's
the sand.
enough. So we're
You get
doing
4, not one more.
yeah, we're adjusting a little bit there. So
Oh.
Grandma likes pretties.
Yes, she
and
does.
that has always been her mantra.
Yes.
Is that a girl has to have pretties. And so Cheryl's about up to here with the pretties.
Have you ever met Grandma Patsy?
No.
I don't think so. Okay, yeah. She's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, Mom, your story is you are basically 24/7 with Grandma. You do live next door, so you're not living in the same house, but you're 24/7. But then you also have siblings, and they live out of the county, but still in Montana. And then they come up, and there are specific things that they do. So talk about that a little bit.
Alrighty. I have a sister who is a nurse. Actually, we're pretty proud of her. She's a NICU nurse at St. Pat's in Missoula, but she loves to cook.
Oh, okay.
And so she comes up, and she said she was trying to figure out what is it that I can do to help you guys out, help me out, help give me kind of a break. And so she will bring things. She cooks at home and puts stuff in the freezer. And then when she comes to the house, she cooks. And we stock the freezer. So I just have to pull things out, heat them up or whatever for lots and lots of meals and baking and all of that.
Wow.
She's really good.
And so that is a big help from her, And then sometimes then we'll do, Mom will have little jobs in house cleaning out this closet or blah, 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 blah. We kind of do that. But her main thing is cooking. And then my brother lives in Arlee, still down in that area. So when he comes in, he can kind of do the handyman type jobs. Because I can, to a point, I do the yard. Mom's got a big yard and take care of her birds. And we have to have bird feed out. Oops, we're not supposed to do that, I think, but we do. And for the woodpeckers and a bird bath and hummingbird, all those things. Mom loves those because she can sit on the porch and watch it. So I do the yard and all that kind of stuff. And then Andy just comes and he helps with
The
whatever
honey-do list.
heavy duty things where you
Yeah.
got to run tools and whatnot. And he'll come and stay sometimes with Mom if I need to have a break or been sick. That's happened where I've gotten sick.
Yeah.
And then he's retired now, so he can come in
Yeah.
and stay a few days with
Yeah.
her, take care of her, and or come and stay, and I can go down visit my sister or something, give me a break.
Yeah. You're
So
not
that's
very
kind of
good at
does-
taking a break, though.
I'm not. I
No.
know. I've tried. Mom gets
I've tried.
And I
I
must
know.
say that my sister in Kalispell here would come in a heartbeat. She has a couple times she has had to drop everything and come.
Yes.
I'm going to check with my sister in Spokane because I don't know if things have changed at all as to how long Mom can actually be alone. Like if I run, I'm sure she's fine if I run to town, but 3-4 hours or just what? Because I know she goes to her meetings all the time and leaves the Mom, but so I'm going to have to check with her to see what she thinks.
Well, is Grandma still such a voracious reader?
Yes.
See, that's a blessing that we have,
Yes.
is that Grandma, even at 95, still loves to read. And that keeps her mind sharp,
Occupied,
truly.
Yeah.
Oh, and Young and the Restless.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness.
Mother had to figure out how to put it down on the iPad.
Yes, she loves it on the iPad versus the TV now.
And thank goodness you don't
Because
have
you
to
can
hear
do it
it.
any time. You don't have to just catch the TV at 11.
Perfect.
Oh.
So I go and read or I do something while that's on.
Yeah.
Well, and I was just thinking about, you probably so it all comes from somewhere, right? Grandma Fisher was the best caregiver when we were kids. If we were sick, we wanted to go to Grandma Fisher's because you would get Cheetos and 7-Up and she'd give you a little bell. You got to be set up in the TV room. And if you needed anything, you could just ring the little bell. So does she ring the bell at you?
No, we haven't.
We're not there yet.
No
We're
bells
not
yet.
there yet.
But
Yeah. And I remember you kids would, after you had your bath,
Yep.
she'd salt and pepper you with talcum powder, things.
Yes.
And she'd give them rub your feet and give you a little massage and stuff. Because my kids learned to quit asking Grandma to rub them because I'm good for,
she's like,
oh, right.
Okay.
There you go.
that's
good.
that's about Bailey learned from you because she's like,
Yeah, see,
They're
there you
there.
go. So you got to go see Grandma Fisher if you want a nice back rub.
oh yeah,
whatever.
if you just sit down in front of Grandma Fisher, she'll just start rubbing your
Oh.
back.
And my mom was great for baths. My boys absolutely hated going to Mother's for fear she would stick them in the tub.
Yeah.
And they knew they didn't need a bath. Yeah. No,
Which
she
she
was.
probably did, but
Well, speaking of that, fair, and we have visitors here with us now. And one of them, Ryder, is 8. He needs to go in the tub. That boy he wears shorts, so long shorts, and then he wears tall socks. So the only thing exposed are his kneecaps. Dirty, dirty, dirty. It's time. But he probably doesn't think he needs a bath either.
Right.
Yeah.
So, how did you get hooked up with Mrs. Kruger way back when?
A neighbor that I knew needed groceries she was alone.
She was our only neighbor
Yeah.
because we were
mean,
way out there in Nirata.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And then you would eventually, I know what it was. She wasn't trying to teach me to be a good neighbor or a good caregiver. She was just telling me to get the hell out of the house. And she'd say, ride your bike down. And it was a couple miles down to her house. And then I would go stack wood or whatever. And then I remembered many times we would take her to town.
See her friend.
To get groceries. Because we lived in a place where we only would go, if we came to Kalispell, it was a big deal. And it was like once a month to get the monthly groceries.
Isn't that kind of what you would do?
We used to do that. Yeah. When they had the big warehouse. Well, now it's Costco, I guess. It would be. But this was like wholesale or something like that. You get your own box and whatever they did.
You even
back
marked
when the kids were
with
little.
the black pen, you would write on the top that it was a 60 cents.
And
or
I
whatever.
remember back when they had that. That was a long time ago. Inga was pretty little here in Kalispell. That the beer was just white cans and then black lettering that said beer.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah,
and it was that darn tasty too, wasn't it?
tasted like beer. I remember seeing that.
That's funny.
That is,
So self-care. I think we're actually talking to two tough old birds that don't even know what that means.
Right.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah. Well, and I think that some of the things that you do, Ma, you probably don't even know that it's self-care. Maybe you do, but like dancing. You do your dancing and you go spend time with like your friend Deb. And so talk about that. What do you do for you?
This is my personal assistant therapy.
Okay.
Perfect.
Is line dancing at the senior center in Columbia Falls with the old gals. We have a wonderful time, and it's I think the oldest person that dances with us is 94. She just turned 94, and boy, she can hang in there with everybody. And so most everybody is in their 70s or 80s, but anyway. But once a week for 2 hours. Of course, we have a 15-minute break in there. 15-minute break, and that's where we solve world problems and and we discuss what the heck are they doing to Columbia Falls, all that kind of stuff. But then we used to, before COVID, we actually used to go once a month and perform at like the Veterans Home and the Beehive, and we came into Kalispell did. I'm trying to remember, it was Heritage Place and what's the one up there by the hospital right next?
Like Emmanuel Lutheran?
Yeah, we've been there, but I'm trying to think the one that's
Brendan House?
Brendan House,
Yep.
yeah. And so we used to do that. And, not the whole, because there's like maybe a dozen people that come to dance, but there was only a core group maybe of 6 or 7 that would go and dance these other places. And it was fun. And boy, I'll tell you, you're hot stuff at the vet's home. But anyway, COVID kind of ended that.
Yeah.
So, and then we never kind of really got back into it. After COVID, because even when it was looking like we could go back in as volunteers to some of these facilities, then they'd get an outbreak of the flu or somebody, whatever, and they'd still have to do a shutdown. So the only place that we've performed now is just Heritage Days in Columbia Falls.
Oh, fun.
That was pretty fun. So that line dancing, and it's good for your brain.
Yep.
You got to remember your dances, So I do that, and then I go once a month. There's a women's connection in Columbia Falls. I think it's Stonecroft Ministries does that, and we always have a program. They have like a presentation from a business person or people or whatever anyway, and then we'll have a bodacious lunch, and then we'd have a speaker, and it's Christian based, and it's kind of their story, their witness. And I do that, and I don't miss that because I got to go with my friend Norma from the Beehive. And then, so I just do little breaks in town sometimes when I have to do chores in town, which is like a mile away. River's Edge Park in Columbia Falls is a lovely walking path system in there. And I can go in, and it's really nice. And I can squeeze in a 45-minute walk right down the hill from the grocery store. So I do that, I guess little things. And then I'm close enough, to my house. Mom's next door. That if everything's hunky-dory there, I can just go home and kick back and throw in my X-Files for 2 hours.
Do you
or
have
whatever,
any kind of communication between the houses, or does she have to call you if she needed you?
We have to call.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we do, Mom does have the alert, one of those
Like a
alert
life
things.
alert,
Yeah, life alert thing on, which we found out does work really well. Right off the bat, the first week, we got the one that's set up for a fall detector. But she and you're supposed to be able to wear it in the shower. But no, she doesn't want to get it wet.
Right.
You know how these things go. Anyway, but she sits on a bench anyway, whatever in there. But she dropped it when she went to get her towel. Because she told me later when I came up to the house, then she says, well, it works because they called me. And she says that's real common. People, when they first get it, they
Dropped it.
drop
Thought
it.
she fell.
Yeah, just
Yep.
checking so we know
Yep.
it works. But so we do that. So that's just, a form of comfort for her too.
Mm-hmm.
But we just have, just the cell phone
Mm-hmm.
and the landline. We have a landline with that. I mean, almost in shouting distance there. But
Right.
but so that's kind of that's all we have at this point. And if she's not doing well, if she's not feeling real well, a lot of times then I'll stay up at the house with her instead of staying at my house, even though it's just a skip and hop away. But
Yeah.
we'll do that.
Yeah.
But
Right.
She's very accommodating.
Yeah. Incredibly.
yeah,
And in addition to, I was thinking about you talking about Grandma and Grandma Ann and all the widows in the neighborhood, but you also are a taxi for the grandkids and entertainment for the grandkids. And
Grandma will travel 24/7.
yes,
I never know when the phone's going to ring. Of course, now we got teenagers over there, so they got more drivers.
Yeah. Right.
But
I
it
think
used to
you're a
be
lot
when they were
nicer
young.
when they ask you to drive than asking the siblings to drive.
Oh, that
I mean,
could
they'll
be.
do it, but they
But,
don't necessarily want
Grandma,
to.
that's the kid calls and needs a ride. Grandma's got to.
Yes.
can
And
do it.
Cheryl, you were actually with your granddaughter as she was practicing her driving just recently. How was that?
Ooh.
She took to it quite well.
Yes.
About the third day when she was adjusting the music, I thought I've created a monster. She loved it. She
Yes.
loved it. I kept thinking her dad would be having a cow if he knew I turned her loose. But she's kind of a little perfectionist. We went on Valley View Road a lot, and she wasn't getting the corners like she wanted. She couldn't let up. It was not good. And so it just bugged her. I could just tell. And she just kept going at that until she learned how to let up.
Wow.
Go with the flow of the curve, because it's like, oh no, she loved it. And
That's awesome.
she said her friends, she's from DC, learn in a parking lot.
Yeah.
And so this was
This
incredible.
is amazing for her.
And I think that'll be something she remembers.
Oh,
I
for sure.
guarantee.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What about your self-care?
I could have a lunch every day of the week with ex coworker, or what do you say, ex? My
Former.
old coworkers.
Yeah.
I have a wonderful support system. I don't know why I was so blessed. My two sister-in-laws are incredible. They're I'm closer probably than I am to my sisters. If they watch this podcast, bad. But they just are at my beck and call every minute. And like I say, my sister from here would come any minute that I needed to take a break.
Sure.
Lunches, I have to limit it to about 2 a week. You just can't keep going to lunches all the time. And I have taken Mom along when we've celebrated birthdays or whatever. She can gussy up and
Yes.
and
Is there something to dress up for?
yeah. So I guess mostly, and then you go in for your hair appointments and whatever for your personal.
Yeah.
I do volunteer at the Bread Basket, and that's a break. They have a Thursday night you can go in, or else during the day on Tuesdays or Fridays. So I do that occasionally, and help with VBS.
Mm-hmm.
That's only in the summer, but in a short little week. But
Amy's class.
I did go up to the little country school, which is so darling. My niece is a kindergarten first. I don't know if she has second. Anyway, I was going up there and helping her before I got Mom, actually.
Yeah.
And I really, really enjoyed that. It was about a 7 or 10 mile drive from home. I
It's
did that.
interesting because even in your self-care, you're still doing things for others.
Yeah.
Both of you.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. And you actually have a daily devotional.
Oh, well, yeah. Couldn't get through without that.
Right. Yeah, no, that's a big deal because some tough stuff has happened and it's because of faith.
I think you can choose, I've read this, you can choose every morning when you get up you could choose how. I mean,
Yeah.
we can plan and plan and plan, and we know that it can be changed, but you have a choice as to whether to be grumpy or to be whatever every day.
Yeah, there's a quote out there somewhere. It's a little rough, but it says something to the effect of "Life's pretty great if you choose not to be a miserable cow."
Oh, there you go.
I like that.
Yeah,
that's
a
what
good
I was
one.
trying to
It's true.
say, Inga.
Yeah.
I picked up on it. It's true though. I mean, you have to, and I know like for you, Mom, you're very aware of yourself. And so if you get in a situation where you're starting to get frustrated or, rattled or whatever, you'll just take a step back and have a cry if that's what you need to do, or
a
a good scream. Yep. Maybe some swears. And then you always get yourself back together and what is it? Put on your big girl panties.
Yes. Yeah.
Pull up your,
Well, it's the Fisher School of Counseling.
yes.
My family, good German family. Buck up and deal with it.
Yeah.
Now, there you've been counseled.
Well, ours is cowboy up.
There you go, something like that. Yeah, my brother changed careers. He was a civil engineer, his first career, and then he went into teaching, second career. And so I says, well, get ready for all those ed classes. It's a lot of BS and stuff. That means it's piled higher and deeper in just education classes. You really don't learn about it till you're out in the field. Teaching, And he was whining about, in the next semester he was going to have to take psychology and whatnot, his own counseling. And I says, get ready, because they're going to spend a whole semester to teach you 1,000 ways, nice ways, to tell people to buck up and deal with it. I have a funny story I got to share with you when you're talking about getting frustrated and fuzzing up. That's my old cowboy friend Craig. That was his term. Oh, don't fuzz up. Fuzz up. I was thinking about this morning. Anyway, we years and years ago, he's since passed, like 13 years ago, but we were taking the canoe ride down the Swan River, which is a pretty slow float. You can't get into too much trouble there. And so he thought it would be a really good idea to bring the dog in the canoe. Because he had done that with his son, and Lucy, the dog, had a really good time.
Oh no.
So, all right, so we're in the canoe. I'm in the front, so everything's happening behind me, and the dog's in the middle, and Craig's in the back. And away we go. Well, every time that I would have a stroke of the paddle and the water dripped off, that dog would lunge to the side trying to snap at the water. So you're constantly doing this back and forth, and I'm cussing and swearing at the dog and carrying on. And finally, I just fuzzed up, and I says, Craig, you got to stop that dog. She's going to dump the canoe over. Tie her up if you have to. He said, well, no, we can't do that. What if we tip over? She'll drown. I don't care. Then it got real quiet, and so we're just floating along a little bit. But the dog is quiet, so he made her sit. I feel this poke in my back, and I turned around, and here is the canoe paddle extended with a cold beer sitting on the end of it. Poked me in the back with it. He says, just calm down. So I remember that sometimes, because I guess it was just thinking of some of the scriptures, because I do daily devotional too, and I think that's a really good scripture that'll help me, cope or whatever, and so I go in and I save it in a Word document, and then I can go back and look. But there was something about there, just getting so flustered and and just take a deep breath, and hand it off. Hand it off. So I just think about that now when I start to get really rattled. I just feel that God poking me in the back.
He's not giving you a beer, though, is he?
Beer on the power. Just calm down and let me have it.
Oh, so good.
That's Craig.
Yeah.
He had some good ones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was a funny guy. Good guy.
Yes, Mother, I see you have some things listed. Is there anything we haven't touched on?
Nope, not till Grandma sings.
Okay.
Yay.
That will take the whole rest of the time.
Yes.
Can we do, how about some God moments? That
Yes.
You really know.
Do it.
Because he's just working through circumstances and people.
Yes.
And things fall into place. So here's many years ago when I could still drive outside of the county and feel comfortable.
I mean, she hasn't had her license taken away.
No, but we don't need to go anyplace now. The furthest we'll go is to INGA. Maybe every 3 years we'll drive to Missoula or something. But we used to travel a lot. But anyway, I used to go to Portland. I had a friend that lived in Portland. Picture me driving to Portland on the way. But I didn't have a GPS or anything. I'd have to print everything out on
Like MapQuest.
Yes.
Yep.
And then print it all out and on the typing paper. Then I tape it on the dashboard and highlight every other one and the mileage so I could read, so I know which exit, get in which lane, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I mean, that's how I had to drive. And I had to go, she didn't, Beaver something or other. Beaverton, is that in?
I think it's
that's
Beaverton,
it,
yeah.
Anyway, if you go the route that she told me to go, and then you go through this Clover Lake thing.
Oh,
You're going
no.
through Portland. Okay, so I made it to her house. We had a wonderful time. So we're coming home. I'm coming home, proud of myself. I made it. Looking at it. Okay, now we're coming backwards. I got to go through this cloverleaf thing, and right away there's the exit to get back because I got to go back to the Dalles. Head that direction. I missed it, and I'm starting to panic. I mean, literally panic. I got to keep driving because everybody else is going 65 or 70. I don't even know what to do. And then I see Seattle. Oh, I'm on my way to Seattle. That's the next sign I see. And I'm going, oh my gosh, God, what am I going to do? Help me out. What's going on here? What's happening? And in my mind flashes one of my favorite TV programs outside of the X-Files was called Lost. I don't know if anybody watched it. Okay, anyway, one of the main characters in there was a neurosurgeon. And he was describing when he, to somebody that when his first big surgery, everything was going wonderful till he got to the end. He's working on the spine anyway, and he accidentally then got a little tear in the neural sac, and all these nerves, like little spaghetti, spills out. And it's like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And his father told him, 5 seconds. You get 5 seconds to let terror just completely take you over. And then you have to get a plan. In so many words.
Yeah.
So that popped into my mind. That's what God told me. You get 5 seconds to be totally, what are you going to do? Terror, because I was just panic attack.
Yes.
And then you have to get a plan. So I counted it off. 1,000, 1,002. And I got my 5, and I got to take the next exit to get off.
Uh-huh.
And then, at least get off the freeway. I don't want to go to Seattle. So I get off the freeway, and there's a convenience store. Pulled right into the parking lot, went inside, asked the fellow behind the counter, told him I needed, where do I get back on the freeway to go to the Dalles? Oh, he says, just go back down here a block and you'll turn left and it's right there.
Oh.
And it went, see how prayer gets answered?
Yes. Yes.
In a hurry.
In a real hurry.
Oh,
I
wow.
love that.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I only
5
drove-
seconds.
Yeah,
I love
that's
that.
a 5 second. And since then, I've had a couple of times it was like I'm panicked.
Right.
Deep breath, count to 5. Then you got to get a plan. You can't just keep going.
Wow.
I'm going to teach that to Bailey.
Oh, that's a good
For
one.
driving
That's a
and-
good
yeah.
one for anything.
Really,
Yeah.
true.
Like
Yeah.
you don't keep driving up the North Fork when you know you're going to get stuck if you stop. You have to stop at some point instead of
Just
keeping on going.
Because then you're just going to get stuck farther away.
Yeah. Yeah, that had to kick in again. Olaf was real happy when he had to come and get me.
Oh, shoot. Oh, it actually happened?
Oh, yeah. I did that. Well, at least I counted to 5 and got a plan and stopped.
Mother is quite the praying woman, and she prays for everybody. And I remember one time, there was a time that Andrew was driving, and you felt the need to pray for him. And then he had a blown tire or something, and he was on the interstate, and he called her, and he said,
I remember.
were you praying for me? Because you just saved my life.
Yeah.
And I don't remember all the details, but Mother told me about that. I was like, ugh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Amazing.
a pretty cool one there too, because you can always count on Cheryl Barrel to do some praying for you if you need it. So
Yeah.
Well, and I have 2 sister-in-laws that are prayer warriors too. So
yeah,
It's powerful.
yeah. I one time just was made a call, and it was to a random person, and I said, I am so sorry to bother you right now. And he goes, no. He said, I'm actually driving down the freeway and I fell asleep. Your phone,
Oh
your
my
call
gosh.
just woke me up
Oh
as
my
he was going
gosh.
towards the
Like guardrail or
the
something?
guardrails.
Oh.
And so, I mean, if you feel like
And it
you
was
need
just
to make
a wrong phone number?
or it was somebody that we needed to talk to, but I just decided at that time to finally make the call.
Oh, that is crazy.
And it was really, really bizarre.
Yeah.
But, so pray. And, if you're feeling the need to think about somebody, they need you right then. There's something going on.
The ability to let things go also and to turn them over to God has changed my life a lot. Just like you can't take it all on and you can't control it all. You just literally have to give it up and it's going to be what it'll be. And he hasn't failed me yet.
Yeah. Yeah. We've had some stuff happen in our life where it wasn't our plan. And sometimes you still don't know what the hell the plan was, but you have to give it up. And understand that in the big picture, it wasn't ours anyways.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
wow. Well, you guys, this is amazing. Thank you for coming in here. I would love it, unless you think of anything else, Julie, if we turned it over to our grandma sayings.
Yeah.
Or explaining some things. Yeah. Do you want to start us, Cheryl?
I do.
Okay.
I actually, if I wasn't nervous, could say this, just recite it without reading, but I'm going to read it, okay? And I found this in some of my reading, and it says, "There was someone I loved who grew old and ill. One by one, I watched the fires go out. There was nothing I could do."
Oh, shoot, Cheryl. I was hoping it was going to be a good one, funny one. Not
That's my department.
In all the reading, things just hit you. And I have my trusty little, my daughter gets me,
Don't call me honey.
shooting the rattlesnake.
Didn't that happen in real life?
Yeah.
Yes. Mother, when they say the term a wild woman killing snakes, that is
I
you.
had to protect my children.
Yes.
But I use this all the time. If I'm reading and I find a word that I don't know, which is a lot.
Yeah.
But I love it. And so when something hits you.
Yeah.
And this to me was,
That's really beautiful.
this was totally my husband.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, no, that was a tough one. There's the old saying is, would you rather lose your mind and your body be safe and good, or would you rather have your body
Have your mind, but your body goes.
then the opposite.
Yeah.
So, or would you rather have your mind and know that your body's giving out?
Neither.
Neither. It's
I
really
would prefer
hard.
neither if I'm putting in orders.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dad's was certainly mindful of everything, and Grandma too. Like I said, we haven't. Like your friend Norma. Is she your same age?
No, she's 9 years older than me.
Okay, 9 years older. So that is one of those things that we as a family haven't had to deal with, is any kind of memory issues, but certainly different body systems going kaput.
Yeah.
So I was meaning to ask you, and I think I know the answer to this, but Norma, she has always maintained, like she's always still been happy, right?
Yeah.
Because not everyone that experiences dementia or Alzheimer's is pleasant, like Norma.
Yeah, it's the stage of wherever she is now. You can see the decline; it's gradual,
Right.
But she still is pretty happy soul,
Yes.
and she still recognizes.
So she's
the
not
close
angry
friends.
and
That
frustrated,
seems
and
right. She gets upset with herself because she a little bit with the memory, but not to the point where she's really angry,
Sure.
and fuming
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not,
Yeah.
hasn't reached that. So,
Yeah. So what's
well,
your grandma
well,
saying?
I actually, speaking of wild women killing snakes, that was a favorite of my dad. That's what he would always say. Is, go at it like a wild woman killing snakes. But
Yes.
but this is a grandpa saying. My dad worked at the aluminum plant when I was a kid there, and he ended up in management up there too. Had to do a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
And he usually was with a coworker. They're traveling or whatever. And so their big saying was when they were traveling to make sure you got everything, he'd always go, ass, passport. All right, we're ready. We're ready. Let's go. So then he started applying that to the family. It's like when we're packed or, going on a trip, is everybody got everything? I mean, he says, Mom got everything packed. That's what that meant, is she got everything ready to go. Okay, ask passport. We're ready. Let's go. So that was kind of his thing.
That's cute. That's cute. So, and wrapping this up, what are some words of wisdom to those that are kind of in your situation? I know humor is a big deal, and sometimes it's not always easy to laugh, is it, Cheryl?
I know.
No. I find with my mom, and it carries over with Norma kind of too, but mainly with mom, just kind of a mantra, I guess, is just be kind.
Mm-hmm.
Be kind, be kind, be kind. Mm-hmm. Be nice, say that over and over again, because sometimes you get tired and crabby, and I don't want to be ornery to mom.
Well, it's a total role reversal.
Yes,
and
yes.
and when I very first took this on, I thought, I do not want to be bossy.
Yeah.
I don't want to be this tyrant. And you're right, kindness covers it all.
Kindness, and that's kind of, I pray for patience and problem solving, which is, okay, I'm trying to wrap my head around this situation. It'll help me problem solve it, because a lot of times that's frustration, is you just need to be able to sit down, take a deep breath, getting that paddle poked in your back, calm down, and problem solve it, and then, be kind and try to help maintain her integrity in certain situations, or dignity in some situations that we have to help them with.
Right.
There's not a lot of dignity, with.
I just keep thinking, okay, maybe I'll be there someday myself. And so,
ooh, which daughter's going to take care of you?
Let's see.
Inga, the daughter.
Inga.
Thank you, Inga.
You're very welcome. You have an excellent set of children who will, I know, do anything in the world for you.
I'm not worried about
They'll
it
divide
too
and
much.
conquer, and they all have really wonderful skill sets. But
So, do we get to do a little brag on our daughters here
Oh,
too?
please.
I just like to say, from when you guys first started to now, has just been tremendous growth.
Oh.
Yes. That you have really done a good job.
Oh,
Got a little
You're getting your banter down, and you're a little more at ease.
Oh, yes.
We're a little more relaxed.
Yeah, and you're covering a lot of really good subjects. You're finding things that are important. Oh, you were going to wonder if we learned anything. I've learned from most of a lot of them, great majority, that it's diet and exercise. Diet and exercise will pretty much solve everything.
Exactly right. Use it or lose it, baby. You are what you eat.
I am
you
pizza
girls are,
and tacos and Mountain Dew.
yeah, you girls are doing a
moonshines.
great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Mother, do you
That's
have
right.
anything you want to say? Or
No.
yeah? Good.
How about ditto?
Ditto.
Oh,
There we go.
yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Well, I think that's it. So peace out, Girl Scouts.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank you for
definitely.
coming.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.